Pay attention. Do you feel like something is missing? That there's a space in your life waiting to be filled? This isn't just your imagination. Your twin flame is closer than you think. When you least expect it, that connection will happen and everything will make sense. The signs are all around you, don't ignore them. Something powerful is about to happen. Have you noticed how life quietly leads you to moments that seem small but deep down change everything? Perhaps you locked eyes with someone and felt something different. Maybe you had a fleeting encounter that lingered in your mind longer than it should have. It could have been a conversation, a smile, an inexplicable sense of familiarity. This doesn't happen by chance. Life has an odd way of bringing together those who are destined to meet. It doesn't always happen the way you imagine. It can be quick and overwhelming, but it can also be subtle, discreet, almost imperceptible at first. What matters is not the exact moment, but the impact it will have on you. What do you feel right now? An emptiness, a waiting? There is a reason for this. Your soul recognizes that something is about to change. It may seem like nothing is happening, that things are continuing as they always have, but that's not true. You are already being prepared for this encounter. Perhaps without realizing it, you are becoming the person you need to be for when that moment arrives. Don't think you are alone. The other person feels it too. Somewhere out there, this person is also waiting, experiencing the same restlessness, the same absence. That's how it works. It's a connection that already exists before it even happens. But for this to occur, you need to be ready. Close the doors that are still slightly open. Let go of what no longer makes sense. Break patterns that hold you back in the past. There is a cycle that needs to close before the new can come in. Do you feel this? If you're still carrying unresolved feelings, if you're still tied to old stories, it might be delaying what's coming your way. There's no point in asking for a fresh start if you're still living in the past. This new connection can't happen while you're holding on to what should have been left behind. So take a look inside yourself. Are you ready? Are you truly open to receiving what's on the way? Because it's not enough to just wish. You have to allow it. You need to make space. And when that moment arrives, you'll know. There will be no doubt. It won't be confusing, it will be clear, it will be strong, it will be certain. You won't have to force it. You won't have to insist, you won't have to convince anyone. It will simply be. And when it is, you'll understand that everything you've experienced up to now was part of the preparation. That every mistake, every disappointment, every painful goodbye had a purpose. Because everything was leading you to this person, to this moment. Pay attention. The signs are emerging. The pieces are falling into place. Something is shifting, and when it happens, it will be impossible to ignore. Keep going. Trust. Prepare yourself. It's coming. Do you feel it? This subtle shift in the air, this sense that something is about to happen? It's almost like an intuition whispering inside you, telling you that your life is moving toward a new path, that something greater is waiting just ahead. And maybe you're trying to ignore it. Maybe you're afraid to believe, afraid of being disappointed once again. After all, how many times have you felt hope only to watch everything crumble? How many empty promises? How many people came and went, leaving only unanswered questions? But this time is different. This time there's something real happening, even if you can't see it yet. Fate is preparing you for an encounter that can't be avoided. There are no coincidences, no accidents. Everything has its right timing, a precise moment to take place. But this moment doesn't depend solely on time. It depends on you. Have you ever asked yourself if you are truly ready? Because this meeting won't come to fill any voids. It won't mend old wounds, nor will it be a remedy for your pain. This person won't be a savior. They will be a mirror. And what do you see when you look at yourself? If there's still something unfinished inside you, if doubts, insecurities, and fears still control your decisions, this connection might happen, but it will be fragile. Because it's not enough just to find someone. You need to be whole to live this the right way. So now look at your life. Is there something that needs to be resolved? Are there hurts you continue to carry? Are there patterns that keep repeating because you haven't had the courage to break them? If yes, then now is the time to take action. The person coming to you doesn't deserve to meet someone who is still living in the past, and you don't deserve to live a half-finished story. You deserve something real, something that lasts, something that makes sense. And when this person arrives, when this meeting happens, you won't have any doubts. There will be no games, no uncertainties. It will feel like a quiet recognition, as if your soul is saying, "It was you all along." But for that to happen, you need to trust. It's not helpful to want to rush what has its own pace. It's not helpful to look in the wrong places, to get involved with people who are clearly not part of this journey, to accept less than what you truly want. Because when something is genuine, it finds its way to you. And now I ask you, are you ready for what's to come? Are you willing to let go of what no longer makes sense, to make room for the new, to allow yourself to feel everything without fear? Because this decision is yours. Destiny can place this person in your path, but it's up to you to recognize, accept, and live this the right way. So if there's something inside you saying that this moment is close, listen. Life is guiding you, and this journey has already begun. If you feel that something is changing, that there's a quiet force pushing your life in a new direction, don't ignore it. Nothing happens without purpose. No absence is in vain. No wait is wasted. What you've experienced up to this point wasn't a mistake, it wasn't time lost. It was preparation. And now the waiting period is coming to an end. But understand this, the person who is on their way won't be a prize for everything you've been through. They won't be the reward for your pain. They will be a reflection of who you've become. Because you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are ready to receive. If you're still surrounded by doubts, unresolved stories, feelings that pull you back, that connection might happen, but it will be weakened. You need to choose. Continue clinging to what should have been left in the past, or make room for what truly makes sense. You need to be whole. Not perfect, not without wounds, but aware of what you want and what you will no longer accept. Because this person won't come to fill voids, they will come to walk alongside you. To add, to share, to build something real. And the most amazing part? They may already be close. Perhaps you've already crossed paths with them. Maybe they already play a part in your day in some way, but neither of you are ready to see that yet. True love doesn't happen in a hurry. It doesn't arise from neediness. It doesn't spring from desperation. It blossoms at the right moment when both parties are prepared to experience it. And you, are you ready? Are you willing to trust in the right timing, to not accept half measures, to not settle for almost? Are you ready to recognize this person when they stand before you? If so, stop looking in the wrong places. Stop insisting on what doesn't fulfill you. Stop forcing connections that clearly don't make sense. When it's real, you won't have to ask for attention. You won't have to beg for presence. You won't have to question yourself all the time. True love doesn't leave you confused, so now start paying attention to the signs. Notice the changes around you. Feel the different energy that's forming. Because when this encounter happens, you'll know, and nothing will be the same as before. This encounter will happen in a way you don't expect. It won't be planned. It won't fit into your calculations, nor will it be at the exact moment you envisioned. But it will happen when it needs to. Maybe on an ordinary day without any warning. Perhaps when you're distracted, focused on other things without thinking about it. But suddenly everything will make sense. And it won't be like before. It won't be like those unfinished stories, those broken promises, those fleeting feelings that couldn't bear the weight of reality. It will be different, because this person won't come to play with your feelings. They won't come to test your limits, to make you anxious, to make you feel like you have to fight for every crumb of attention. It will be simple. It will be real. It will be intense without being suffocating. And the question is, are you really ready for this? Because as much as you want this encounter, it will also challenge you. It will require you to be vulnerable, to lower your defenses, to allow yourself to be seen exactly as you are. And that is frightening, because true love isn't based on masks. It doesn't survive on games. It doesn't grow in emotional distance. It demands commitment. And this person who is coming doesn't want someone who pretends to be strong all the time. They don't want someone who hides their feelings for fear of getting hurt. They don't want someone who builds walls, who avoids depth, who is afraid to dive into the connection that will arise. She wants you, just the way you are, with your story, with your scars, with your truth. And that's why this preparation is necessary. Fate doesn't make mistakes. It brought you here for a reason. It made you go through everything you've experienced, so you could grow, learn, strengthen yourself, and understand exactly what you want. Because when this meeting happens, you need to be ready to truly live it. So, look around. Pay attention. Something is changing. The pieces are falling into place. Everything is moving toward this moment. And when it arrives, you will know. And when that moment comes, there will be no doubts. You won't need to question it. You won't need to look for signs that you're right or wrong. You will simply feel. Something inside you will recognize this person, even if you've never seen them before. It will be a connection unlike any other. It won't be that uncontrollable passion that consumes you and then fades away, nor that shallow interest that falls apart at the first challenge. It will be something solid, deep. But for that to happen, you need to allow it. You must be open. Because fate can cross paths, but only you can decide if you want to walk together. And here's the main point. Are you ready to receive this love? Often we think we are, but in reality, we are still stuck in the past. We still cling to memories that no longer make sense, to patterns that hurt us, to beliefs that limit us. Maybe you're afraid of making the same mistakes, afraid of giving in and getting disappointed, afraid of losing someone again. But the love that is coming to you doesn't want to hurt you. It doesn't want you to relive old pains. It came to be different, to be what it should have always been, and for that to happen, you need to trust. You need to let go of what should have already been released. You need to stop hiding behind the fear of not being enough, because that person is not coming to seek perfection in you. They are coming because just as you are already exactly what they need. And when this happens, your life will never be the same. You will finally understand why so many things went wrong before, why some people had to leave, why certain situations never worked out. Because everything was leading you to this moment. So now, pay attention. Changes are happening. Time is moving in your favor, and soon what seems like just a wait today will make sense. Get ready. The soul that connects with yours is already on its way. And when this meeting occurs, everything around you will seem to make sense. Every mistake, every goodbye, every silence that hurt, everything will have served a greater purpose. You will see that nothing was in vain, that each loss was, in fact, a necessary detour that brought you exactly where you were meant to be. And in that moment, you won't need to question if it's real, because there will be no doubts. It will be something that fits naturally, without needing effort, without needing fear. It will be the answer you didn't even know you were waiting for. But understand this. This connection will not come to complete you because you are already whole. It will not come to save you because you don't need saving. This person will come to walk beside you, to grow alongside you, to share the journey without one needing to carry the other. That's why it's important for you to be ready. True love doesn't blossom in unstable soil. It needs solid foundations. And those foundations are within you. So ask yourself now, are you truly prepared to receive this person? Are you willing to make space for the new without carrying the baggage of the past? Are you ready to be seen for who you really are, without masks, without barriers, without fear? Because that person is already on their way. You might not see them yet, but they feel the same calling. Somewhere they too are waiting, living their own journey, preparing for this meeting. And when your paths cross, there will be no need to rush, no need to insist, no need to beg for reciprocation. What is true simply happens. Just keep going, keep strengthening yourself, keep evolving, keep believing. Because soon that meeting you've been waiting for will become your new reality. When this encounter happens, you will understand that everything was part of the journey. There will be no doubts, no fears, only the certainty that it was meant to be. Now, tell me, are you ready for this connection? Share your thoughts here, leave a like, and subscribe for more messages like this. Destiny is already at work and your soulmate is on their way.